welcome to a special live edition of the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the Crispy Noodle podcast that's fit for a 2020 weird, crazy year that we're still rolling along here, 30 episodes deep. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Rich Liebig.
I'm Michael Costanzo.
And yep, we are still broadcasting some way, somehow, whether it's coronavirus, whether it's wacky sports happenings, whether it's a national event, whether come hell or high water, we are still doing some form of the Crispy Noodle podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got some sports, entertainment, and odd news to distract you from everything else that's going on in this crazy, turbulent week. Lots to get to, but before we do, we like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to. So, Mike, how you doing over there in the middle of the forest?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the forest. I'm hiding out currently. No, I'm doing pretty good. This past weekend, the girlfriend and I were in the Washington, D.C. area. It was a very interesting time to be in D.C.
Very appropriate.
Very appropriate. Not to touch on it too much, but we ran into a couple of rallies, a couple of protests. It was an interesting time to be in the Capitol. But we also had an opportunity to check out some of the museums, which are starting to reopen in the area. So we went to the Air and Space Museum in Chantilly, Virginia, and it was really cool. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to check it out, but I highly recommend it if you're into any sort of avionics or like aircraft history, because they have some really historic planes there. The highlight for me was they had the actual Enola Gay, which was the bomber, the World War II bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, or one of the atomic bombs on Japan, and they had the actual plane there. So it was
Wow.
really, really cool. They had airplanes going all the way back to 1915 and, up to the latest jet fighters that they have now. So I highly recommend it. It was really cool. We did it, we did a pretty quick walkthrough. But there's a lot of really neat stuff to see there. You could easily spend several hours there. So if anybody gets the chance to go down there, not too far away, it's about, 3-hour drive. You could do it in a day or take a weekend trip.
Yeah,
Highly recommend it.
depending on how you want to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the drive's not too bad, and also if you get the train from Philly to DC is not too bad either.
Yeah, that's right. They also do the trains down there. Yeah, so I mean, plenty of opportunities to go down there. I recommend it, and we did the museum, and we also walked around the National Mall, which is always, I think everybody should go and check it out at some point. The Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, and do all that stuff. Um, I had a gyro from a food truck, which was always a highlight.
Yeah, you
But
gotta have food
it's
truck
just
food.
you gotta have food truck food. But it was a fun time. So that's what we were doing this weekend. We were exploring the DC / Northern Virginia area. Rich, what were you up to this past weekend?
So I've been stockpiling toilet paper based on everything that's happened
I
in 2020. So there you go. That's my.
I see that you have enough. You have just enough for the rest of the year, it seems.
Yeah, there you go. That's my Zoom background for you. I tell you what, I love having like wacky Zoom backgrounds. That's been like
Yeah,
the best thing that has come out of 2020 as far as I'm concerned.
right. And every week we have a new theme. This week's theme is apocalypse. So
How appropriate on the
how
week
appropriate.
of a major American historical event.
Right.
So yeah, I guess the only other thing that I would like to mention that I did was I watched the first half or so of The Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
So you have surpassed what I've watched of it after my recommendation. Awesome. That's usually how it happens.
It's very
It's
good.
good.
I love
Ah,
every bit of it. I love the story's great too. It's a traditional coming of age story. Female protagonist too, so Rachel likes that. Because she says I don't watch enough movies and TV with female protagonists. So there you
hey,
go. Take that.
female protagonists are awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there you go.
we
Take
need
that.
more female protagonists. That's right.
Take that. I got one. There you go. I got
Okay,
that. I got
you
that
got
one.
you got one, the first of many, though.
Right.
Hopefully.
But no, the show is very well written. The character arc is well, actually, it's based on a book, so I should say it's better adaptation of the novel it's based on. The actors are great in it. I love how they do the projections of what's going through her mind while she is doing her chess games. I wish personally they would go more into that because I love the actual logic and
Right.
stuff, the strategy behind the moves in chess. So, but I realize this is geared towards a general audience, so that really wouldn't
Right.
fly for a general audience. But still, it's great. It's got the right blend of drama, gamesmanship. It's definitely worth your time, and it's only 7 episodes. I mean, I'm already through 4, so I'm in the home stretch. So,
Right.
yeah, it's worth your time, and thank you, Mike, for recommending it. And yeah, I can't wait to finish it up this weekend.
Yeah. Uh, I it's such a big problem of mine. I recommend shows and I never actually watch them myself. So I gotta definitely get back on the Queen's Gambit bandwagon
Yeah.
there. It sounds really cool. Yeah. I only watched the first episode, so I have a long ways to go. But exactly what you're saying, for anybody that hasn't started, is fantastic. I completely, wholeheartedly agree with Rich. So definitely go check that out.
Yep.
And like you said, it's a mini series, so it's not a huge time commitment.
Yeah, only 7 episodes. Each one's an hour. Really, you got to think of it more like a 7-hour movie. It's
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
which is something a little bit of a piss me off segment here. But the
Okay.
more I've of course, me being a fan of mob movies, I've like rewatched The Irishman like 4 times.
How? That's like 24 hours of your life.
See, no, this is the problem. Everyone thinks it's like so long. It's not really that ridiculous.
It's 4 hours
It's
long.
it's 3.5. And all right, wait, hold on. And here's what
Hold on. You always criticize Lord of the Rings
Wait.
for being so long.
Because
Go ahead.
that seemed forever. I'm sorry. That I could not get into. That seemed like it lasted forever. But anyway, here's what
Okay.
you do. But here's what you do with The Irishman. You can break it down into 4 episodes, and this is what Netflix should have done, because there's actually markers in the story that work perfectly. One off the top of my head is like when Robert De Niro's character finally links up with Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino in the story. That actually would be a nice like kind of cliffhangery kind of a thing, like, so you want to be part of the team? Bam, cut the black. There's 1 episode. Like, they should have split that up into 4 episodes, and I guarantee you would not have that comment. You would not have the it's too long criticism. It would have been just right.
You're probably right. The problem is Netflix is still chasing their Oscars. So they're going to keep on trying to shoehorn things into movies, where I think Netflix's bread and butter is miniseries. And Netflix miniseries are some of my favorites.
And also maybe Scorsese probably didn't want to do that route.
Well, what annoys me about the old guard is that they are so inflexible when it comes to new mediums and new ways of looking at things. You have the Scorseses and the Nolans, and they're all stuck in their way. And Tenet bombed at the box office because Nolan refused to go the streaming route, and Scorsese's Irishman is overlooked because it's not a miniseries, and because nobody wants to watch a 4-hour movie. They'd more easily watch a 7-hour miniseries because they can do it piecemeal instead of one sitting.
So, hold on. Let me just go back to my original point. Watch The Irishman, but if you're worried about the 3.5-hour time marker, split it in the 4 episodes. It roughly comes out to around 40 minutes a piece too. So it
That's
works.
fair.
It really
That's
does.
fair.
It really does work. It's a shame Netflix didn't run with that. But what's weird is they've done it before, where they've retroactively split up a movie into series.
Which one?
Guess what they did? Quentin
What?
Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. If you go on
Really?
Yeah, if you go on Netflix, there's, I think it's the unrated version, or it's some like unedited version or some sort of name to the version, but they split it into 4 different like episodes, and and it also makes sense for that movie because Tarantino has those like markers where it's like part 1, part 2.
Yeah, he has the title card things.
Yeah. So just Netflix, do that with The Irishman, and I guarantee you, people will even more people will watch it.
Well, they should now that it's not. They came out a couple years ago, so they don't have to worry about the Academy Awards anymore.
Yeah.
So they should.
So just do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. I think more people will embrace it. All right. I don't know why I went off on a random tangent there. Not even in the entertainment portion of the show yet.
No. No, we'll
Yeah.
get to that later. But first, we have to get to the big news in the sports world. This happened just after we recorded last week. We have a little bit of baseball news. Rich, I know you're a big baseball fan, so why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Yeah. The Los Angeles Dodgers they are world champions finally. It took them a while. This is their third time in the last decade. But eventually, the third time was the charm. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays. Sorry, Rays. Every time they make it, they're another team. Every time they make it to the World Series, it's always against another team that like hasn't won in a while, and like the story flips, and they're like the bad guys.
The Phillies beat the Rays, didn't we?
Yep.
There we
So
go. I knew I recognized the team some for some reason.
so yeah. Sorry to Tampa Bay Rays. They another one of those teams that it had been a while, since
Right.
since the Dodgers won. What was it, 1988? That was the last time the Dodgers won. So congratulations to them. But unfortunately, it's not all happiness and cheers, because a lot of the blame was put on the Rays manager. And I just want to get this right because I texted Mike the day after it happened. So
Oh, that's right.
I want to get into this a little bit. There is a
Okay.
concern going on that analytics may have ruined this World Series and potentially could be ruining traditional baseball. So the Rays ace pitcher Blake Snell, he was starting Game 6. This is what you want. You want your number one or number two leadoff pitcher. You want him in these key games when you hit Game 5, 6, and 7. This is what you want.
Right.
And he was doing pretty good. I actually texted Mike the stats here. I wanted to make sure I get this right so we're all on the same page. So in 5 completed innings, he only allowed 2 hits. Going into the 6th inning, he allowed 1 run, and up until that point, he had 9 strikeouts. So
Okay.
I think
That's a
this
pretty good
is
stat line right there.
yeah, this is what, for the most part, this is what you want from your starting pitching performance to get you
Right.
through, at least half of the game, actually more than relatively safe. Up until the 6th inning, this is the first run he allows in the 6th inning. So up until then, it had been a complete shutout. 9 strikeouts. I mean, the only thing is it's a tight 1-0 game, but other than that, everything's going good. But then the manager decides to pull him. Allegedly, there was an analytics score in which his efficiency rating drops after throwing 55 pitches, and up until that point, after he allows the first earned run, he was at 73 pitches. And another interesting stat is some of the beat writers that were present at the game noticed that the opposing team, the Dodgers, some of their players actually were breathing a sigh of relief that Snell was coming out of this game. So they had a bad poker face. They couldn't even hide their relief when the manager pulled out Snell. And then the rest is history because the Rays did not come back in this game. They lost Game 6 and lost the World Series. And we've got a lot of old-time baseball purists that are saying, oh, this is another sign that these stats, these nerds, these geeks that are just focused on analytics are ruining the game. If this was an old-timey manager, he would have been left in and you would run the game as usual. So, Mike, I know that baseball's not your number one sport, but what do you make of this situation? Is this fair criticism?
So baseball is not my number one sport, but this actually relates to my number one sport, and I'll turn this not all the way, but I'll compare it to the Eagles because analytics is a big issue and it hits close to home for us because Doug Peterson and the Eagles organization, one of the leading organizations when it comes to using analytics and making decisions. And so while I normally bristle at the whole idea of the baseball purist, like, oh, no replays and no this and no that, I'm like, get with the times. I have to agree with them here. I do think that analytics here probably costs them that game and costs them the series because you also have to be able to adapt to the changing situations that you are seeing. That's the eye test. If something's working or not working, you have to be able to adapt it. You can't just always trust the numbers because the thing with the numbers is it's like, and you know this because you're a gambler, the gambler's fallacy. Well, it's got to go this way eventually. No, it doesn't have to go that
Nope.
way because there's still the other side of that percentage. There's still the other side of that probability. So you can't just completely trust the analytics all the time. You look at the stat line, you got to ride the hot hand. You got to look at how your pitcher's doing. Maybe he gives up another run. Okay, fantastic. But he's still got you all this way. And until he shows that, the drop off in efficiency is going to be, a huge detriment, I think you got to let him continue to play to see how much you can get out of him, especially in a tight situation like that. So I agree with the baseball purists this one time
Yeah.
that I think analytics did them more harm than good. But I want to know your opinion because you like baseball, but you generally don't side with the purists as much as some big baseball fans do.
Right. It's funny. I'm actually two minds of this because I actually don't personally this specific situation with Snell and the Tampa Bay Rays reminds me actually more of a different scenario where it's how do you react to the World Series. There's two minds of that. And it's funny because I know actually some minor league baseball players, and they always because I've asked people, like when you're competing in like a championship game, like when something big is on the line, how do you still? Baseball's a very pace,
Right.
calm game. How do you like get to the mound? How do you like get ready to throw the next pitch? How do you like prevent that sweat, getting into that palm and getting ready? And most of the minor league players will say, you treat it like it's any other game. You absolutely do. And I feel like you have that thought versus the thought that this is the World Series, game 6, you're facing elimination. Throw everything but the kitchen sink at the other team. And
Right.
maybe, that probably played a little bit of a factor into this calculus into pulling Snell that, hey, you know what? I've got a bullpen full of guys ready to attack this as well. Um, but I think this might have been a case where I think this is why the minor league baseball players, the players that the people that actually have legitimate championship baseball experiences tell me, no, treat it like it's any other game. Don't overthink it. Treat it like it's any other game. And I think if you did that, you would have left Snell in. You would have rode him and see how far he could go in that 6th inning, possibly the 7th, and then you worry about closing it out. But
Right.
I do feel sorry for the manager because it's not an outright bad call. It
It's
seems
not
like
cut. It's not cut and dry.
an outright bad call because he lost the game and he lost the series, but it's understandable. So I'm gonna, it's one of those like he's wrong, but I'm not gonna hammer the guy down.
It's tough because analytics. I mean, the Eagles use it to great effect until they don't. Right. And it's one of those
Yeah,
things. No, it's one of those things where it's when it works, it's like, wow, obviously, why don't we go for fourth down and every time? Why don't we pull the pitcher as soon as his efficiency drops? And then it doesn't work. And it's like,
why did we
you
do that?
know, why did you do that? Yeah. So it's like any strategy. Any strategy works until it doesn't.
Yeah,
You know. So I guess you can't fault him entirely, but I also don't like the trend in sports. Now I sound like an obnoxious purist. I don't like the trend in sports where it's purely crunching numbers. There
yeah,
still has to be some element of the eye test,
yeah,
and there has to be some element of like feeling the flow of the game.
yeah. Otherwise, then all nerds would be managers. That's one of the best things
Right.
about Moneyball. That's like I don't know if you've seen it recently because it's now on Netflix.
Not
By the way,
recently.
it's
Not
now
recently, but I have seen it.
it's now on Netflix. You can rewatch it. But one of the best things is one of the head recruiters mentions to Brad Pitt's character. He's like, "You think you're revolutionizing the game? You're not. If it was this easy, if it was this clear cut, every team would be doing this and hiring nerds, straight from
Yeah,
college."
it's true.
So yeah, it's uh, yeah, analytics can only go so far. I think is
Right.
the ultimate takeaway in this. All right, so there you go. World Series talk. Congratulations to the Dodgers. They are the world champions. LA looking pretty good right now. Let's go back to the East Coast, and we have to deal with our hometown Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Sticking up the joint, but still somehow pulling off a win against the pathetic third string quarterbacked Cowboys. Gucci Danucci couldn't pull it out for the Cowboys. 23-9 was the final score. I'm upset that the Eagles actually won by 14 points because they actually covered their spread with the sports book on a wacky fumble return that even as an Eagles fan, I was like, that should probably not have counted as a full blown touchdown. But whatever. Mike, what do you take from this? The Eagles they won, yay.
So I mean that's sort of the takeaway is like you've been saying the past 2 weeks is, you know, these NFC East teams are beating up on each other and it's lulling us into a false sense of security. We're like, oh wow, we beat Dallas by 2 scores. Let's pat ourselves on the back, but not really,
No.
right? Not really because Dallas is now 2-6. We're leading the division at 3-4-1. As you've said the past 2 weeks, and I'm sure you'll say again this week. Or actually, no, the Eagles are on a bye, so you won't say
Yeah.
it this week.
Eagles are on a
But
bye.
everybody loses. You know, even though the Eagles win, we get into this mentality where like, oh, we have a shot. Um, you know, how much of a shot realistically? I think we need to be realistic here. You know my opinion. Go big or go home, right? If you're not going to make it deep into the playoffs, don't bother, right? Because the NFL is not for long. It's um, you need to strike while the iron is hot, and this sort of thing where we're like keeping on these old veterans and we keep trying the same old thing, to less and less effect. It's not working, and so sometimes you need a kick in the butt to change the mindset or change the culture, and we're not getting that as long as we stay competitive, quote unquote. So with every win against the division and every step closer we take towards the playoffs, we get lulled into this sense of the Eagles are competitive. The Eagles can keep doing what they're doing without changing much. um, and that's not going to work. That doesn't work in the NFL. It doesn't work in the NFL.
Yeah.
So my takeaway is less anything about the game, but more so what we've been saying the past couple of weeks, in that I'm actually not enjoying when the Eagles limp out of these games against bad opponents.
That's all right because the Eagles, whenever it's not an NFC East team, it's going to be more rough sailing, I think. This is really a case, I hate to say this, where every team in this division could lose any game that's not against their own division, and then everybody in the division could go 3-3 against their own teams, and then the Eagles could win the division at 4-11-1 because this has just been ridiculous. Um, and the Cowboys,
Your stream, Rich. Oh, you're back.
yes, hello, yes,
Yes.
it
You can
happens.
tell this. You can tell this is live. I totally missed everything you were saying. If you want to give it too long, didn't read for me.
Basically, just the division is atrocious, and somehow it's possible a 4-11-1 team could win the division.
Yeah.
Um, I, I'll tell you what. The one silver lining to this is the Cowboys lost, and
Right.
all the Cowboys nation is very critical of Jerry Jones and how this team has just come out flat. So I like that part. So that's good. Good job embarrassing Dallas. But other than
And
that, this has
you know
been
what?
oof.
Yeah, I will say this, what's commendable, we did a good job of, keeping their wide receivers in check, keeping Ezekiel Elliott in check. I don't know how much of that is due to the Eagles playing good football and how much of that is Dallas is terrible. Um, I will say I'm enjoying the continued success of Travis Fulgham. He's like the one bright spot of this entire season. Him and Jordan Mailata on the offensive line, really impressing um, lots of people across the league. So I'm really enjoying that. What I'm not enjoying is, and we got to talk about this, Carson Wentz, Rich. I mean, he almost got outplayed by a third string rookie quarterback who, for all intents and purposes, has no business being on an NFL roster.
What Gucci Danucci? You're critical of this man?
Yeah, I am critical of this guy, even though he technically played better than Wentz. He had more yards, he had more completions, he has a higher quarterback rating than Carson Wentz. Um, I see people online calling for Wentz to potentially be benched. I mean, is that overreactionary? Is that knee-jerk type reaction? What do we do here to right the ship?
Benching is
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
benching is the worst thing you saw?
Oh, well, I've seen other crazier things,
Yeah,
but
because I've been listening to Philadelphia radio, and
oh, Rich, that was your first mistake.
I've heard people saying they want to trade him away. They want to do anything to get rid of Wentz. It is amazing how fast the fans will turn on you if you
So
don't put together a good amount, a good first half of a season.
So give us a little bit of reason here, Rich. What is the appropriate reaction to Wentz's struggles?
So yes, it's you got to be critical of him. There's no excuse. The one interception where he just floated it to Hightower that was just like that ball just stayed in the air forever. Like you're not those are the passes cornerbacks and safeties dream about, where just time just stands still and they can just watch the ball,
Yeah.
as it floats its way down to the field. That I don't know why Wentz thought he should have floated that one deep. You got to put a little more zip on that. That was just I don't know. That was bizarre to me. But yeah, he's not making good decisions. He's not seeing the field. He had receivers get open for like 3, 4, 5 yard chunks, and he's not looking to the center of the field. That really speaks concern for me. I would say at this point, maybe a bench is worth it. We did it with McNabb during a season where he wasn't doing too well, and McNabb got benched, and he took a little bit of a humble pie, a little bite of that humble pie, and he came back playing a little bit better. I think maybe he should be benched maybe for a game or two. Also, you get to see what Jalen Hurts can do. I don't think it would. I don't think it would hurt. I think. I mean, I don't know. What's it gonna do? Drive his numbers even worse?
Right. There's no harm in it other than damaging. See, I think a lot of it's in his head, and the benching could be effective in that it could snap him out of it and be like, oh man, I got to play better, or it could be more detrimental and weigh even heavier on him. But something has to be done. I think benching might be a good start because he's been playing abysmally this season. I mean, some of the highest rate of turnovers we've seen out of him. I mean, it's like every game, it's multiple interceptions, it's fumbles, it's sacks.
4 turnovers he had.
And not all of it's his fault. Here's the issue: we are playing with a hugely injured team behind a constantly revolving offensive line. It's hard because you can't get the chemistry down. You can't get that sort of communication down where you just know how other players on the team are going to react. He's lacking weapons right now, but also some of it I think is coaching. His first 2 seasons they had Frank Reich and DiFilippo, and they were a bit tougher on him than the current offensive coaches. but it's not just his coaches. I think it's Doug Peterson as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an actual offensive coordinator. He wanted to be offensive
This
coordinator and head coach, and this is a problem. He's calling plays that aren't catering to the talent that he has on the field.
that is a huge problem. They should have a dedicated offensive coordinator. I don't know what Doug was thinking that he could do both, because obviously he needs somebody else in the room to challenge him on some like play ideas and play calling, because the play calling has been abysmal so far.
Right. And you're mentioning that he gets receivers open on short routes. Why are we not calling more short timing routes? Why are we not focusing more on the ground game? Why are we not, using these things to their full potential? Why is Carson Wentz pressing so hard, holding the ball, taking sacks, throwing interceptions, trying to force things that aren't there, trying to play hero ball? He doesn't have confidence in the players around him, or he doesn't have confidence in the plays being called, or he feels like he needs to be the savior of the whole team. So there's a disconnect between him, the talent around him, and the plays being called. And you need to align all these things. And hopefully the bye week is something that will help the whole team align themselves. I think this season's already shot because even we're going to make the
Oh
playoffs.
no, no, this season's far from over. No, we're gonna win the
I know it's
division.
I know it's far from over. We're going to stumble ass backwards into the playoffs by default, and we're going to get eliminated in the first round. Whatever. Okay, same old story. Um, but going forward, looking to the future, they need to align this team, or 2021 is going to be the same story as 2018 and 2019 and 2020. And I don't think I can do this for a fourth year.
Well, speaking of looking to the future, we got to switch and get ready for Fantastic Four picks this week without the Eagles, because the Eagles are on a bye week. So we got four games that we think you should keep an eye out for. And this is a good way to shoehorn futility watch, because the New York Jets are still winless. I love following this. They face the Patriots somehow on a Monday night game. This is going to be atrocious.
I don't know how they came up with this, yeah, but since the Eagles are on a bye, we decided to do something fun and do like almost a double futility watch because the Jets are winless, but the Patriots of all teams are 2-5 right now. Who'd
Yeah.
have thunk? Rich, I know what the answer is, but why is it the Patriots?
Um, the Patriots show up against the Jets. Bill Belichick takes pleasure in punishing the Jets. He takes actual pleasure. I mean, think about it. That was the team that he was supposed to be the head coach for, got a better offer in New England, and then resigned one day,
Yeah.
into his tenure as New York Jets head coach. So I think Bill Belichick is going to take pride in going to New York and giving them another loss. I still don't see the Jets winning a game. No.
Yeah, and to further that point, the Jets are dead last in defense, and the Patriots actually have the fourth best rushing attack. But I like this. Their last meeting, the Patriots won 33-0. I know they don't have Tom Brady anymore, but I mean, even if they score a quarter of those points, they're still beating the Jets.
Yeah.
It's the Patriots, right? It's got to be the Patriots,
Yeah.
clearly. Next up, let's talk about a real game here. We have an offensive showdown between the Seattle Seahawks and the Buffalo Bills. Seattle is traveling to Buffalo. It's a Sunday 1 o'clock game. Both teams surprisingly decent on offense. Both of them ranked in the top 10, mostly due to their passing attacks. Rich, who do you think comes out ahead in this one? It's a tough one.
This
They're very similar teams.
this is interesting. Yeah, they are similar teams. And a lot of the bookies are having Buffalo as favorites. I don't see it. I think this is all Seahawks. The only thing you can knock on the Seahawks is that their defense is lackluster. But Russell Wilson is having an MVP season. He is lighting this team up on the offensive side of the ball. And the Buffalo Bills, the last couple of games, have completely underperformed. They almost lost to the Patriots last week, which is kind of embarrassing considering the Patriots aren't, the regal status they used to be. And the Bills' defense hasn't really lived up to expectations this year either. Last year they had a top 10 defense. This year has been very shaky for them. I see Seahawks in this all the way. I don't know. I don't see Buffalo pulling this one out.
Well, while I agree that the Seahawks will probably end up winning this game, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than you're making it seem. The Seahawks defense is shockingly poor this season. And while Russell Wilson's having a career year, Josh Allen's technically having a better year than Russell Wilson in terms of statistics and just the overall passing attack. In terms of just statistics, the Bills, I can see why they're favored. The Bills are better in offense, they're better in defense, they're better specifically in the passing game, and they're equivalent in the rushing game. That being said, the Bills are still coming into their own as a quote unquote good team, where the Seahawks have been, they have that consistency of being good. They have that experience of knowing how to handle themselves, knowing how to win tight games, close games. The Bills, last year was, I think it was their first year where they had some real success. Now they have to deal with the pressure of leading that division. So how do they handle this newfound success? Um, I like the Seahawks here. They're an experienced team. Russell Wilson's an experienced quarterback. They know what they're doing. Even though they're on the road, that might also factor into the Bills being favored. I still, I normally side with the Seahawks. I'm going to side with the Seahawks again here, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer than you leading people to believe. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Okay.
Another one that everybody should be looking forward to is this potential AFC playoff preview. The Baltimore Ravens are traveling to Indianapolis to face off against the Colts. Rich, both these teams doing very.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one?
This is, I think this is probably going to be the tightest game. Um, my gut still goes with the Ravens. But it would not be a surprise to me if the Colts are able to pull this one out. Really, this one comes down to Phillip Rivers. It really does. If Phillip Rivers turns the ball over, throws a couple of interceptions, the Ravens are going to feast and they're going to win this game. But if Phillip Rivers limits the turnovers and they rely on they rely more on the running game and they can get momentum going, they have the defense to stop Lamar Jackson. So I think it all comes down to Phillip Rivers. Can Phillip Rivers play mistake-free football against this Ravens defense? I think at some point he's going to make a mistake, so I'm going to go with the Ravens. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts pull this one out.
Yeah, so when I'm looking at the Ravens, the thing that I see, it's a fantastic combination when you have a stout defense and a great run game, because that means you're controlling the clock, you're controlling the flow of the game. The Colts have a stellar defense, actually technically ranked first in the league. But you're right about Phillip Rivers. He's older, he's a gunslinger. The Ravens have one of the highest blitz rates in the league, very tough defense. Phillip Rivers is going to need to pass because the Ravens are going to ground and pound all day with that league-leading rushing attack. So the more Rivers presses, the more that defense feasts by getting after the quarterback. Again, like I said with the last one, this one's going to be close. It's going to be a great game. This one could go either way. I'm giving a slight edge to the Ravens, but the Colts are surprisingly competent this season.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be very interesting. A really good defensive matchup between these two teams. And finally, probably the highlight of the week is the battle for the NFC South. You have the New Orleans Saints traveling to Tampa Bay to face off against the Buccaneers Sunday night. Rich, the Buccaneers, I mean, what a surprisingly stellar team they're fielding right now. Top 10 in offense and defense. Brady is proving that he still has it. Can Brady outgun Breeze here?
They have to. Actually, this is funny. A lot of people are kind of just throwing it as like a regular Sunday night toss game. For the Buccaneers, this is a must-win game because remember, they lost the season opener to the Saints. So if they lose this game, they lose all the tiebreakers going in the division. They would have to surpass the Saints when the season is finished. So it's important for them that they at least swipe one of the two games away from the Saints because it looks like it's going to be Saints and Buccaneers to win that division. So this is actually a must-win game for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. with that much at stake, I think Buccaneers are going to take this one. Also, the Saints recently, I know that they're winning games, but they got something going on in the locker room where there's some drama going on with Michael Thomas and some of the offensive players on that unit. I would I'm pretty confident it's going to be Tampa Bay taking this one.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Saints are favored, I think, technically. Of course, now
Mm,
I can't find the
no, I think the
information. No, they're
Buccaneers
not.
are.
Oh, sorry. I'm going based on analytics. See, this is the problem with analytics. Analytics here says the Saints have a probability of winning the game, or they win the game in 50 some percent of the simulations. But I'm also looking at some of these other advanced statistics here. Like Rob Gronkowski has had receiving touchdowns in 3 straight games, and New Orleans has allowed the third most touchdowns to tight ends in the league this season. The Saints have been shaky this year. They've been on and off. I know that their record is very good, but um, I agree. Something seems off about them. But in comparison, the Buccaneers have been exceeding expectations. You know, um, so it's a really tough one. It's like part of me is like go with Breeze and the Saints, because that's like the classic combo. They always win. Then part of me is like, but look at the numbers. Look at the Buccaneers. They're top 10 in a lot of categories. They're just fielding a great team right now. You know what? I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with analytics here. I'm gonna go with the Saints. I
Ah,
think that yeah, I'm gonna also to keep things different. We agree on like every game anymore because the season's so weird and topsy turvy. But I'm gonna go with the Saints here because I just I don't know. I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling like the Saints are gonna go in there and make a statement. They're gonna, I'm
well,
seeing the events.
if they do, that's 2 wins over them. They own all the tiebreakers. All they got to do at that point is just match pace with the Buccaneers, and they win the division.
This is their opportunity to silence doubters like us. That they still have something left. I mean, this is a team that's been knocking on the door the past few seasons, and if they want to shut up the critics, they have to win this game. And I think they realize the magnitude of it. So I think the Saints are going to come in and they're going to be potentially, hopefully, hungry. If not, this could be a big win for the Buccaneers. There's ample opportunity for both these teams to take this one. I'm going to go with
All right, wait. Your mic cut out there. What team are you going with? Uh, uh, Mike apparently lost his microphone. Can't.
what was that?
There you go. Which team are you picking?
The Saints.
Okay, it was funny. It literally was like a cliffhanger. It was like I'm finally gonna go with the and your mic cut out. It was
Oh my
hilarious.
god.
I was
And
like,
what's funny is immediately after that, I lost your audio.
oh, yeah, internet connection must be running a little high right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's appropriate because we're actually done the sports topics. We need the jump topics. We need to go to entertainment. Um, and we actually have some sad news to talk about in the entertainment world. As one of my favorite actors, the first one to play the iconic James Bond, Sean Connery, pass away. He passed away over the weekend at age 90. Um, this is, I can't begin to describe the impact he left on the James Bond franchise, one of my favorite franchises. He was just the right combination of suave, tough, and smart, and he was just cool too. Like he just the way he portrayed Bond was just effortless. That's one of those roles that he was just born. This person was born to play this role. Um, Highly recommend if you've never seen any of the Sean Connery movies, you definitely have to. Absolutely Goldfinger. That's the one that Austin Powers and The Simpsons and everybody else has parodied to death because it's so iconic. From Russia with Love, a fantastic Cold War, pure Cold War spy thriller. Um, Thunderball's a fantastic action movie. Doctor No's the one that started it all. I mean, these are some heavy hitter Bond films that Sean Connery was Bond in and set the bar high for being James Bond. So there's yeah, I mean that just scratches the surface. I could talk Bond. I could talk about Sean Connery being Bond for 30 minutes straight if you let me to. But our podcast is trying to be around an hour, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anything else you want to add on that?
So, I mean, you're a much bigger Bond fan than me, so I think this hits you a little bit harder than it does me. But Sean Connery had, I mean, a great filmography. I always, one of the first movies that I saw him in was Indiana Jones.
Yep.
And The Last Crusade is Indiana Jones'
Junior.
father. Junior.
Junior.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was one of the first roles I saw him in. It was, and he has that iconic accent that everybody does. Everybody parodies the accent. Yeah, he's definitely gonna be missed, especially for Bond fans. I mean, he really made that franchise as big as it was. So yeah, it's definitely a sad loss for the entertainment industry. Sean Connery. I'm feeling bad for all the Bond fans out there. It's one of my entertainment shames that I haven't watched as many Bond films as I probably should have. I've watched like a handful, but not nearly enough, for such a historic franchise. So I might have
Well,
to go back and watch one in honor of his passing.
well, there you go. I gave you three options.
Yeah,
Yeah, Goldfinger is the one that everyone parodies, and that's the one you think of.
yeah,
The classic, Aston Martin, the super evil villain, Art Goldfinger. That was a fantastic role. The iconic three-piece gray suit, like that's the one. Even though it wasn't the first movie, I think that's probably your good starting point. Because that's probably going to be the most familiar one.
yeah,
So, but then if you want to go more serious, From Russia with Love is a good Cold War spy thriller. If you want to go more actiony, go Thunderball. So yeah, there's options you can do with Sean Connery, but unfortunately, we had to mark that the iconic actor Sean Connery passed away at the age of 90. Scotland's best. Rest in peace, good sir. All right. Now let's get to a topic that Mike is very interested in, and it is something that, if you put the pieces together, this could be something interesting. That Netflix, are they going big into video game content? I mean, with the success of the Witcher series, and now them doing a season 2 on that, and a couple of other projects. Mike, what are you noticing here?
yeah. So this is a strange trend that I've noticed the past few weeks. Netflix made a series of announcements. Everybody is familiar with the Witcher series, is fairly popular for them. They also have an animated Castlevania series. So two video game adaptations. I believe, did they also do a Minecraft series at one point, or was that just a rumor? That's besides the point, because the announcements that they have been making the past few weeks are they have two, not one, but two Resident Evil series in the works, one live action, one animated, and they also have a live action Assassin's Creed series in the works as well. So all of a sudden they went from Castlevania and The Witcher to now, what does that make? 5 video game series in the span of the past year and a half or so. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's sort of their target demographic, is the prototypical video gamer. But also, it's a niche that I don't think's been filled quite effectively. You and I are big gamers. We know that they have some of the best stories around, right? God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Uncharted. We could go on and on and on, until we're blue in the face. The problem is that only we've experienced them. That there's a whole portion of the population that haven't experienced video games because they either can't afford the consoles, they don't have time to play them, or they can't play them. And every time there's been a movie, they've been god awful. So here comes Netflix with, their model um, making these shorter television series. Usually they're like 8 to 10 episodes, um, and there's really no restrictions on the content in terms of what the creators can and can't do. And it makes me realize this might be the best platform for adapting video games. It solves a couple of problems. Video games are like, The Last of Us takes, depending on how meticulous you are, 15 to 20
If you're
hours.
not doing a speed run.
Right, if you're not doing a speed run, it takes you at least 15 hours. You can't fit that into a 2-hour movie. Another aspect that I always think of when it comes to video game adaptations, and one that I know that you'll agree with me, is the content of them. Everybody wants them to be PG-13, like what befell the BioShock movie. They wanted it to be PG-13, but it's not a PG-13 property.
Nope.
So Netflix solves both those problems. It gives the story room to breathe, and it gives the creators the freedom to make it as mature as they want to. So what do you think? Could this be, a saving grace to try to finally have appropriate video game adaptations in visual media?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: Netflix has the probably the best success rate so far with the Witcher series. I wouldn't go so far as to bank on it, um, but there's a promising future here. And like you said, there's a lot of key check marks that Netflix can provide when it comes to these video game adaptations. So I mean, it's worth a shot. It's worth looking into. I wouldn't be banking on it because obviously the trend of video game movies and video game TV series, they don't have a good track record usually. But maybe Netflix could solve the problem. I mean, if they did what they did with The Witcher to a couple of other properties, I mean that would be a pretty good market they could get themselves into.
Yeah, I definitely see an opening for them here. Like I said, I think a lot of the problems with previous video game adaptations is that everybody just tries to make the video game into a 2-hour movie. That's not a great way of doing it. One of the properties I've always wanted to be a television or movie series was Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And one of the big problems is like, how do you make a movie out of Mass Effect? Because it's too long, and Mass Effect has all those choices. Well, here comes Netflix with the Choose Your Own Adventure. Um, I
Bandersnatch.
can't Bandersnatch. So, I mean, you do the math in your head. You figure, a 10 to 12 episode season where you have a choose your own adventure style thing. All of a sudden, Mass Effect looks like it could be more easily adapted by Netflix than potentially a big movie studio. Like, I feel like Netflix has all the tools, and now they just need to find the right properties and give creators the appropriate amount of leash length to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited for Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed is a series that spans multiple timelines, multiple parts of history. It's very sci-fi influenced, but it also has a historical context. And so it's something you can't really tackle in a 2-hour movie. It needs that type of leeway to have a longer form um, a longer form of narrative structure. So I Netflix may have hit on something here. I think it's a niche that hasn't been tapped yet in terms of entertainment, is adapting video games,
Well, it's been tapped, but it hasn't been
but
tapped successfully.
not successfully. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's tons of Resident Evil movies, and there's tons of bad video game movies. Assassin's Creed being one of them. Um, but that's what I mean is if they can do it right, they could all of a sudden be known as the entity that makes really good video game adaptations. So it's very exciting for somebody like me who's really into video games and would love to share them with more people, without having to replay it or, force somebody to play it. It's um I think it's a fantastic opportunity for them.
Yep.
I think they have all the right tools.
Well, we will see. My position is I think it could happen, but I wouldn't bank on it just yet. We'll see how Netflix handles this demand. All right, so there you go. Sports and entertainment are covered. That leaves our third and final category. Some good old fashioned odd news. Um, let's see what I've got for this go around. Guess what? We're actually leaving Florida. We're not gonna go to
Uh,
Florida. You know what? Florida's too crazy right now. We need to go
Florida,
away.
Florida is kind of crazy. Yeah, yeah. We need to go somewhere else. It's
Yeah,
definitely not crazy like Pennsylvania.
right.
Um,
So instead, we're gonna go to the heartland, and we're gonna go to Kansas.
wow, I could not have picked anything further from the truth. Okay, when have we been to Kansas last? I can't even remember.
Yeah, we've done stories a couple times from there, but
Okay, so smack dab in the middle of nowhere. What's
yeah,
going on there?
right in Kansas. We unfortunately, this guy does not have a mugshot, so I'm sorry, we will not have our usual mugshot presentation. The only thing I have is a picture of where this odd news story happened. It happened at a little gas station called the Petro Deli. I don't know if
Oh
I don't know
no.
if it's not saying on the. Maybe if I pull it up close. No,
No, it's not
no, it's
coming
not
through.
working.
Oh, wait, wait,
Uh,
wait, right there. Yeah, you can kind of petrol. Yeah,
Petro Deli.
Petro Deli. Okay.
Yeah, what a name for a place. The Petro Deli.
So
That's where we're
what
going.
what did they do at the Petro Deli?
All right. Well, they had a very interesting customer. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Because a teenager decided to run into the Petro Deli completely naked and then grab ranch dressing and pour it all over himself.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we're talking.
He just likes the ranch dressing. I mean, ranch dressing's
I
good.
love ranch dressing, but
It's
wow.
it's awesome. He really loves it
He
though.
really loves it.
Like,
This is a new level of love.
right? Okay, so he was totally naked. He ran in and he poured ranch dressing on himself. Is there a reason why?
Cops could only deem that he was possibly under the influence of a substance.
Okay,
So
that
we'll
that makes sense.
yeah, we'll run with that as the logistical reasoning. According to investigators, a 17-year-old male caused the disturbance at 3:30 in the morning at the Petro Deli. So yeah,
Okay.
nothing better to do at 3:30 in the morning.
No, other than pour ranch dressing on yourself, I guess.
Yeah. So he ran in naked. So he's already starting the story off butt naked.
Okay.
The clothes are not an option at this point in the story. So already running in there butt naked. On the way to the ranch dressing, the aisle with the ranch dressing, he damaged merchandise inside the convenience store. So he must have knocked over, a couple of displays or something like that, or maybe knocked something off the shelves.
Right.
So he then got to the part of the aisle where there was ranch dressing, opened up the tops, and just went to town, just covering himself, slathering, according to the police report, ranch dressing all over himself.
That's
Just
such a waste of ranch dressing.
this guy,
How dare he?
he something struck him. I need ranch dressing all over my body now.
My God.
Now, damn it.
He needed to feel the ranch on him.
Yeah. Then, after he was done, he then ran outside, jumped into a running car, and
Okay, sure.
and then tried to drive away, but he crashed in a nearby pillar. So he's not good at the getaway. Do not let this guy be the getaway driver.
No, he's not good at anything.
No.
He accomplished nothing. He made a mess and he wasted ranch dressing.
Yeah. So because he is a minor, he was released to the custody of his parents. No charges. Wow,
Wow.
they're really forgiving in Kansas, I guess.
They're super lenient in Kansas. You can do pretty much anything.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe it's a combination that like nobody actually got hurt in this.
He crashed a car.
He,
Was it his car?
I don't know. It just said a running vehicle.
So he crashed somebody else's car and there's still no charges?
It just said he got into a running car.
Also, why is there just a random running vehicle?
Well, I mean, maybe, you're just going in for a quick cup of
No.
coffee and you
No,
just
I park the car, I turn it off, I lock the doors because there's insane people like that out
Look,
there.
look, we do it in Philadelphia because we don't trust anybody, but in the
This is
heartland,
I guess.
yeah,
This is Kansas.
in the heartland, they're carefree. They're fine. They're A-okay.
Oh, you can't do that stuff here.
Right, you can't do that in Philadelphia. No.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. So, I don't know. I guess it's just somebody's car. It just said he hopped into a running car.
He literally committed Grand Theft Auto, not the video game, but the actual crime,
Yeah.
and there's no charges.
No.
Okay.
And he was just released to the custody of his parents.
Sure. You can do, if you're a minor, you can do whatever you want in Kansas, I guess.
Yeah.
You have carte blanche to do whatever.
Yeah, that was definitely bizarre. I would think he would at least get something like disturbing the peace or
Something.
or
Anything.
If this was Florida, how about lewd and lascivious behavior because he is naked?
Oh yeah, that's right. They love that one.
Yeah.
Lascivious
Lewd and
behavior.
Also, by the way, let's go back to macro. This is our third story in a row that has happened at a gas station. What is happening at these gas stations?
Gas stations, man, I tell you, they're a breeding ground of crazy people.
Yeah.
Have you ever met anybody sane at a gas station? Answer me that.
I don't. Do Wawas count?
Other than was it a Wawa gas station or was it a Wawa? I mean, I guess it was both. No, Wawas don't count because because it's also a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah.
But there's still weird people at Wawa. But I'm saying
Yeah.
separate from people that you know, just like random people. I don't think. No, there's too many weirdos. There's too many crazies.
Possibly.
Possibly.
And also, we are doing late at night, so yeah, you're not getting the hardworking crowd that's coming in for like a 99-cent coffee or something.
Right. Exactly. This was what 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody sane out at 3:30 in the morning.
Including 17-year-olds.
I mean.
Who really need ranch dressing? I want to know why ranch dressing specifically. You know,
he had a lot of chicken tenders that he needed to dip.
Well, no, he's covering it on himself though.
He was the chicken tender. I don't know.
Wow, there you go. You stumbled on the correct answer.
Look, you said he was under the influence.
Yes.
Maybe he thought he was a chicken tender, and he had. I don't know why. Why else?
I think
Ranch dressing is such a weird choice too. Like, he went to the aisle. Did he just grab the first thing he saw, or was he looking specifically? He's like, no, not ketchup, not mustard, no, ranch.
Well, he said it said he damaged merchandise, so he must have been in a haste, but he knew what he wanted.
He knew it had to be ranch.
Yeah.
Couldn't be anything else.
Yeah. And
so he
had to go over the body right then and there. Slather. Yeah. I love that was in the police report. The actual word slather.
I like that too. It's a good word choice.
It's like he's having a ranch. It's like he's having a ranch shower in the middle of this aisle.
It's a ranch shower.
Get underneath the armpit.
I love ranch, but that makes ranch really nasty.
Yeah.
Just the thought of that.
Yeah, got to clean underneath the everywhere, chest.
Yeah, rub it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Moisturizer. It's good. It's cream.
It's good. It's good for the skin.
Yeah.
Exfoliates.
Moisturize. Yeah. Perfect.
Oh my god. I did a little bit of research on Petro Deli.
Oh yeah, you found the Petro Deli in Kansas?
I found them on Facebook.
Oh.
So I wanted to let you know that here they are. It says are nearly. This is great. They continue to offer the same fast and friendly customer service as before, as well as our nearly famous fried chicken gizzards.
Ooh, chicken gizzards. All right.
Fried chicken gizzards and livers. That's what.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
That's what they're known for. So I found a menu of theirs from 2017. I'm gonna read some of these menu items. You can get things like it's so random.
I am
First,
in.
they have a lot of breakfast, like normal breakfast stuff. They have sandwiches, they have biscuits, they have breakfast burritos, the whole nine yards. They have sandwiches, they have ham and turkey, ham. They have what they call a hoagie, which has bologna and Swiss cheese on it. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But then they have catfish as well.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, down south.
Yeah, they have chis chispitos. I don't know what that is. Seasoned chicken and cheese in a crispy flour shell. Then they have randomly crab rangoon
Yeah. This is like
and egg rolls.
this is like a hotel room service or something.
It's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Wow.
They also have a sandwich that's just called super ham.
Super ham. Da, da, da.
Served, it just says served on a hoagie with sliced American cheese.
Wow,
So if
super
I'm
ham.
if I'm understanding correctly, it's a ham sandwich.
No, it's super ham. How
No,
dare
it's
you?
super ham.
Super ham.
Also, when this menu is from 2017, these prices are outrageous, Rich.
Well,
Hold on.
well, I
How
mean,
much? How
you're going at 3:30 in the morning, so yeah, you got to pay a little premium.
No, no, it's the opposite of that.
Oh, it's the opposite.
What do you think a hoagie costs at this place?
I don't know, $5.
$3.29.
Oh, you know what? It's also Kansas. Nothing's happening in Kansas.
I guess. Oh my God, it's
There you
just
go.
ridiculous.
I,
Their
I,
chicken tenders are more expensive than their hoagies.
I want to try the chicken livers.
I want to get the catfish strip. I can get 3 catfish strips for $5.29.
You know what? I don't know. I just realized it's a gas station. I don't know how much I would trust chicken livers.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Doesn't sound great.
I'll get the
You
super
know,
ham.
the super ham. Yeah, they
Super
also have
ham.
the super turkey,
Oh,
which is like
yeah.
the super ham. But wait for it. Instead of ham, it has turkey. That's right.
Appropriate for Thanksgiving coming up.
There you go.
There you
Perfect.
go. Super turkey.
So there you go. A little bit of background on Petro Deli if you're in the Kansas area. One, why, and two, stop by and let us know what it's like.
There you go. Yeah, let us know what Petro Deli is like if you're in Kansas. All right, so there you go. That's the odd news. Before we wrap it up, let's go over apocalypse activities. Mike, what should people do this upcoming week/weekend?
So I have a little bit of a PSA for people. I don't know if it's available yet, but if you have PlayStation Plus, if you're a big gamer and you have PlayStation Plus and you're planning to eventually get a PlayStation 5, um, they have a free PlayStation 5 game as part of the free games for November. So even if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription and you don't have the PlayStation 5 console, you can still you not download, but you can still add that free PlayStation 5 game to your library so that when you eventually get your PlayStation 5, you have a game ready to go right off the bat. So if you're like me and you didn't get a pre-order, but eventually you're planning on getting one, start stocking up on these free PlayStation 5 games. Keep an eye out on them. PlayStation Plus, in case you don't know, they give away free games every month. So start getting your PlayStation 5 games now. Um, but in other video game news, I've been playing Pikmin 3 on the Switch, which is a fantastic little action platform puzzle game. It's pretty simple. It's fully co-op the entire game. Um, and the reason I'm mentioning it is because it's very family friendly. It's very easy to get a hold of. You basically use these little creatures to do tasks for you, and you have to multitask. You have to, send some guys to build a bridge, send some guys to pick flowers or whatever, and solve these environmental puzzles. And because it's so easy to get involved in, it's a great game that you can play with, family, friends, loved ones, people that don't normally play games. It's a great thing to play together because it's something that you can play with people who have less experience playing games and, bring people together playing games as a shared hobby. So if you're looking for something to do with in the video game world, if you're a gamer and you want something to do with your non-gamer friends and family, maybe try pitching them on Pikmin 3.
All right, so there you go. That's Mike's Apocalypse Activities. I want to give a shout out to my fellow cohort from the President Steve show, intern Ben, who has graciously invited me to join his 24-hour video game charity stream.
Oh,
Very similar to the Game Show Marathon, but he is doing video games.
okay.
And this year, since it is the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man, hey, intern Ben and his friends are dedicated to doing 24 hours of Pac-Man. And I will be joining their stream Saturday from 12 to about 2, trying my hand at trying to remember how to play Pac-Man and how to beat Pac-Man. And it's similar to the video game to the 24-hour game show marathon. Instead it's Pac-Man. We're going to be raising money for Child Life Services at CHOP. So this is definitely a worthy cause. I love everything associated with this. I can't believe that there's going to be enough Pac-Man games to fill 24 hours straight, but there is.
It's a lot of Pac-Man.
If you ever get a chance, look at the history of Pac-Man. There actually are a lot of games. So it's going to be interesting. I will be on the feed Saturday from 12 to around 2-ish. And we'll have a video reminder that'll go out Friday on our Crispy Noodle channel as well to remind everyone. So little fun thing for charity and something to feed my marathon instincts, because we didn't do the game show marathon this year. So and I love this thing, so this sounds amazing. I can't believe they're gonna put on 24 hours straight Pac-Man.
So, are you good at Pac-Man?
I'm decent. It's funny, I can remember the first time I was introduced to Pac-Man was literally at Charlie's Pizzeria right here in Norristown.
Yeah.
And they had the flat arcade where you could put your slice of pizza next to like the screen, and the control was underneath. And looking back on that, I didn't realize how good I had it. Slice of pizza in my hand, arcade game for 3 credits for a quarter or something. It was perfect. So
times were simpler.
Yeah, right. But we're going to relive Pac-Man this weekend. Check out the stream. We'll have the video update on Friday to remind everyone before the weekend starts. But for right now, I think it's time to officially start wrapping this episode up. Thank you guys for listening to the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the crazy 2020 come hell or high water version of the Crispy Noodle podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, the whole shebang.
That's right. You can still get the audio version of this podcast as well on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you search for, download, and subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on the podcast service of your choice.
That's right. So check out all those avenues. Check out social media. Give a Google search. We're there. Get it. Find us, and we will get into contact with you. If you want to get into contact with us individually on Twitter, you got the tags below here on the video form. But for those that are listening on the podcast, I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig.
And I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostinzo. Make sure you send us all your sports, entertainment, and odd news stories. Odd news stories go directly to Rich.
Yep, let us know what you want us to talk about on future podcasts, and we'll give you a shout out if we do. But for right now, it is time to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Crispy Compact Communiqué, a variant of the Crispy Noodle podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. You got anything else, Mike?
No, nothing else on my end.
All right, that'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, see you guys.
Later. Bye-bye.